So we got a full day of eating coming for you, cupcake edition. I'm gonna be eating nothing but food in cupcake form today. So, if you're ready, let's make some cupcakes. Alright, to make the base for my cupcakes, I have 60 grams of oats in here with 2 servings of egg whites, and I just let it soak for a little bit so that the oats absorb most of it. I'm gonna be putting in 1 serving of coconut flour, 8 grams of chia seeds, 12 of honey, and possibly a splash more of egg whites just to get it all together, and that is going to become our base. Alright, so now I got everything in here. I'm just going to gently mix it all together, and I might add a splash of almond milk depending on the consistency. Alright, so this is what we're looking like for the mixture. It's going to kind of just going to become like a granola kind of thing, I'm hoping. Alright, so I got my mixture in my cupcake tins, and I kind of made little wells, so we're going to put stuff in. And next what we're going to do is we're going to go and just put a little slice of banana in each of them. So I got the banana in, and now we're going to put it in the oven at 375 to 400, and we're going to let them crisp up a little bit before we go ahead and put the rest of our filling in. So for our filling, I have 100 grams of frozen blueberries that I'm going to microwave just to get some of the juices out. And then over here, this is going to be our frosting. I have 1 serving of powdered peanut butter and half a serving of normal peanut butter, and I'm going to add a little bit of water just to get it to a more of a frosting consistency. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and show you what we're working with now. I microwaved the blueberries. I wanted to get some of that juice out, but make sure to save that juice also. I have the frosting ready. I just added almond milk actually in little drops until I got the desired consistency. This is nice and frosty. I'm going to put this in the fridge just to let it even solidify a little bit more. These were in the oven at 400 for about 10 minutes. And then I put them in on broil for just under 2 minutes. So now these are looking good. They're like an actual cupcake base that we have, and we're going to go ahead and load our blueberries in, but not use as much juice as we can just because we don't want it to be all runny. So I'm just going to load these all in, and then I'll show you what we're looking like. So these are all finished. I just loaded them up, and I'm going to throw these back in the oven for maybe like 5 minutes or so just to let everything like settle in together. And I'll put it in at 325, I think. It doesn't need to actually be hot. I just want everything to kind of mold into one and get rid of any extra liquid that we may not be needing. So just about 6 minutes more in the oven, and these look all done. So I'm going to definitely let these cool off, and then we will be frosting and then using that leftover blueberry juice to drizzle on top of the frosting. Nice crust. And I'm just going to frost them up and then put a little drizzle of the leftover juice on. Like any frosting, make sure that the cupcakes are cooled, otherwise they won't stay on, and you'll probably burn your fingers while holding them otherwise, so safety. We have these almost perfectly covered. We're going to drizzle this on. This is going to be our breakfast meal. It's basically a peanut butter and jelly oat cupcake. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get the first bite. I am so excited. Listening to myself, I do not sound excited at all. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I'm very happy with that. Not overly sweet. It just reminds me of eating like a granola-y oat kind of thing. It tastes a lot like what it is. There's not much more to it. It's just like oatmeal. You got your oatmeal base. It's good. It has a little bite to it. It's crust. You got the banana at the bottom, smooth. You got the blueberries. You got the peanut butter. Just what I normally have for breakfast, pretty much. Just now it's a cupcake. Very happy with this. I'm gonna eat all of these real quick. So 635 calories, They had 88 carb, 18 fat, and 34 protein. Overall, pretty carb heavy, but they're good. Alright, for our second cupcake of the day, it might be a quiche, but we're calling it a cupcake. We're going to be using a sweet potato base, an egg on the top, some jalapeno and tomato, and spinach in the middle, and then we're going to use a little bit of coconut flour and egg white as binder. So this is what these are looking like now that they're in the cupcake tin. I've got the oven to 400, and I'm going to pop them in. I'll probably do the same exact thing, put them in for like 5 then 10 minutes, check it, and then put it on broil, and then they'll be good. Alright, so for poached eggs, you're going to get your water and bring it up to just under boiling. You're going to put in a splash of vinegar. I had a little bit too much water, but I don't really care. And then you're going to gently lay them in. And you can do like 4 to 6 minutes depending on how well you like your egg yolk. And this is like on a, just under boiling. You like don't really want the bubbles, but there's going to be like a little bit of bubbles. And then you're just going to gently lay them in. I put them in with a bowl, kind of like dip them in. And that's it. Alright, so this is what these are looking like. Similarly, I can move them around, so that worked out. I've got the spinach, tomato, and jalapeno cooked down in there. And I got my eggs right here. I'm going to go ahead and load them up, and then I'll show you what it is right before I put it in the oven for about 5 more minutes. So we're going back in the oven, and then we'll be all done. The cupcake ability is pretty low. The sweet potato didn't harden as much as I had wanted it to. But I'm sure these are still going to taste delicious. Sweet potato eggs, the spinach mixture, some pickled onion on top. Mwah. We had 64 carb, 18 fat, 32 protein. So we're doing alright. Next up we have our burrito cupcake. Yep. So for our dinner cupcake, I have a mix of quinoa and rice right here. I am going to be using that with a little bit of egg white for the base. I'm going to be doing the same technique as the earlier two. I'm going to be putting a layer of refried beans and then some ground beef, and I'm going to put a guacamole frosting with a salsa drizzle kind of thing. So I've got these going again. I made the little divots. I don't know how these are going to hold up. I am hoping. I got the oven on, and we're going to set them in and maybe cook them a little bit longer than we did with the sweet potato, just in case. Alright, so these came out pretty good. They came out definitely better than the sweet potato. I think I'm going to do 2 of them, where I'm going to put in the beef and then the beans, and then 2 of them I'm going to put in the beans and then the beef, and then I'm going to throw them back in the oven, and then we'll frost them and we'll be good to go for dinner. So here's what we're looking like. We got the 2 with beans then beef, and then the 2 with beef then beans. Throw it back in the oven for maybe 5-10 minutes, and then we'll be good to go. These bad boys are out of the oven, and I just need to let them cool off. I will say the ones with the ground beef on top are kind of falling apart a little bit more just because of the crumbles on the top, but these are all able to be picked up and are fully cupcake. 3. That's like unfair good. Originally I thought the breakfast ones were going to be the best. These are so good. It's everything I ever wanted. A burrito and a cupcake. Alright, we're gonna give you a little side action view. We got the base, we got the meat, we got the beans, we got the guac, we got the hot sauce. So good. So freaking good. Alright, finally we have our dessert cupcake. I'm going to be using half of this protein bar, a little bit of flour, a little bit of peanut butter powder, some applesauce, coconut sugar, protein, baking powder, cocoa powder. Alright, so this batter is all done. I forgot to mention I put a little bit of coconut flour in. And for the last time today, we are going to put these in the oven. And then all I have to do is make the drizzle for the top of them. So I realized when I was spooning out the batter for that those are good to eat the dough if you just want to eat it by itself, and it tasted really good. Alright, so the cupcakes turned out good. Oh god, I burped. A lot of cupcakes in me today. For the frosting I used cocoa powder, a little bit of almond milk. I ended up using a little bit of PB2 and peanut butter, and a little bit of coconut flour because I had too much. So I had to thicken it up, and then I cut up the protein bar, and I'm just gonna frost it and then put the little chunks on, and we will be good to eat. So the final cupcakes are all done. I am ready to be done with the day. It's been a long one, but I am very excited to eat these cupcakes. They are going to be quite tasty, I can already tell. Oh yeah. So, moist bottom, a lot of frosting, topping, delicious. These are really good, but they have a bunch of sugar in them, so I'd assume they would be good. The cake itself is actually really good consistency. It's nice and floofy. Crazy, crazy moist. Lots of applesauce made it very moist. But, so next time could probably put a little bit less in. But wow, this is a really good cupcake. Like very tasty, considering there's protein in it. I mess with this a lot. I'm gonna work on this one and tweak it to make it, and try and taste just about the same. Maybe even be healthier. Maybe like put some vegetables in it. Alright, so we had one little single serving of applesauce, which was 100 grams, 15 grams of flour. We used a teeny splash of almond milk. We used a bunch of coconut sugar. It was like 16 grams of sugar, I think. Half the protein bar, serving of powdered peanut butter. Half was in the batter, half was in the frosting. 3/4 of a scoop of protein. The cocoa powder. We used half a serving of peanut butter, half in the dough itself, half in the frosting. And then this was, I call it two servings of coconut flour, but just 2 tablespoons, half in the frosting, half in the batter. For your dessert, 77 carb, 18 fat, 39 protein, which is pretty freaking solid. So if you cut that in half, because there's 2 of them, you'd be getting almost 20 grams of protein, 9 fat, 37 carb, which is not bad at all. If you just had one of those, it'd be 300 calorie dessert. It'd be solid. That's gonna wrap it up for me. I did a full day of eating, of only eating cupcakes. I didn't actually just eat cupcakes, I made things into cupcakes, but I'm calling it cupcakes. You can call it muffins or quiches, whatever, but I called them cupcakes. They're in my cupcake tin. So it was a good day. It was about 2,300 calories or so, and I tracked it all. I pretty much took what I would eat in a normal day and just put it into cupcake form, and it was great. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do anything weird like this again, because I had a lot of fun. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a full day of eating only Crunchwrap Supremes next. So let me know what you think, and have a good one.